Hey math kids, today we're going to continue talking about financial mathematics, and so we're still in 5E in the book, but now we're going to do it using technology. So here's the information for example 18, but I need to show you a few things on the calculator first. So you pull out your calculator. I had to look this up online. I've never done it. I had never done this before. It only took me 5 minutes with some basic Google searches. So if you don't have a TI-84, you may need to look it up. Feel free to come to Math Lab though, and I can help you figure out how to do it on your calculator. First thing is we need to set this up. When you click the mode button, you'll come to this, and most likely float will be highlighted. And we want to highlight the 5 and hit enter. Okay, then we second quit. Now to get into the program we're going to use, we hit apps, then it says finance, and it says TVM solver. So it's just the first choice on all of those. Now, there will be some numbers already entered in here, so we're just going to change them as we go. Some of these are the proper numbers, some of them aren't. So what we're going to do, n is the number of compounding periods, and so we're going to figure that out how we have been by hand. We're going to take 5 years and the fact that it's compounded monthly and multiply those together. So that's 12 times per year for 5 years. So that's why I've entered 60 into this. So just do 60, hit enter. Now the percentage is just 4.25. You can see that's already entered in there. Now this is the principal value. And it confused me when I first saw this, why I'm entering it in as a negative number, but the thinking behind it is you're moving that initial investment to the bank. So you no longer have that money in your possession. You've, quote unquote, lost it, given it to the bank, and then you'll see some return on that. So since our initial amount was $15,000, we actually entered negative $15,000. Okay, this is a payment. We're not making any payments throughout the time, so that's just 0. This is the final value. This will actually be our answer. That's not our correct answer right now, though, because these aren't entered correctly. So we come down here to the P/Y. It's the number of payments per year, and that's how we're going to mark that as 12 because of our interest payments per year. And then this is how often it's compounded. So those are both 12. Then we want to come back up to the FV, and we want it to calculate it using all of these things. So to do that, we hit the alpha button and the enter, and then we hit enter. If you notice on enter, when we hit the green button, it really does a solve function. And so we hit enter like that, and we look at that number, and if you have your book open, you can see it's the same answer as the book got. And so let's write that down. Let's get this. And so the final value is approximately 18,544 and 53 cents. All right, so that was example 18. Moving on to example 19. Helena is investing money in a term deposit paying 5.2%, and it's compounded quarterly. How much does she need to deposit now in order to collect $5,000 at the end of 3 years? Okay, so this is a final amount now. So this is a slightly different problem. So we still know our n. We'll figure that out the same way. So it's 3 years, 4 times per year. So 3 times 4. So that's going to give us 12. Our interest is 5.2. Our principal value, we actually don't know. So we can put anything in there because we'll calculate that in a second. Our payment, once again, is 0. This time we know our final amount. We want to end with 5,000. And then both of these are 4 because that's how it's compounded. Okay, so now we go back to the principal. That's what we actually want to solve. So we say alpha, enter, and we get negative 4282.10. Once again, it's negative because that is money that you transfer to the bank and you no longer have in your possession. So the negative can definitely be a little confusing on that. All right, so we have another one. For how long must Magnus invest $4,000 at 6.45% compounded half yearly for it to become $10,000? Okay, so we're given different information this time. This time we don't know how long, so we don't know our N. But we know our interest rate, 6.45. We know our principal value, which would be negative 4,000. We know our payment is still 0. Our final value is 10,000. And we know that it's compounded half a year, so twice per year. Okay, we want it to calculate N, so make sure we highlight N, alpha, solve, and it gives us the number 28.86. Now, because so if we just round that, 29 half years is what that means, because we were compounding in half years. And so if we want to know how many years, we just need to divide that by 2, and so the answer is going to be 14.5 years. Okay, let's move on. Okay, example 21. Eamon deposits 5,000 in an account that compounds interest monthly for 2.5 years. The account balance is 6,000. What was the interest? So the I percentage is what we want to know. Okay. So once again, monthly 12 times for 2.5. So 12 times 2.5 is going to give us 30. So we enter 30. The interest is what we want to know, so just skip over that. The principal amount is 5,000. Payments are still 0, we're not dealing with that. Our final amount was 6,000. And then, since it was monthly, these are both 12. Alright, so we want to know the interest. Make sure we're highlighting the interest. Alpha, solve. And so our interest is 7.32%. Okay, we'll keep moving on. Oh, actually, that's the last one. So if you need additional help, please come to Math Lab and calc you later.